to ReFrench your brain. Bienvenue, a session where you can stretch your brain and presented by Oli. Don't forget to embark your heart. Let's go!
So, hello everyone. This is my first time that I try this amazing feature. I'm going to be probably in 6 months. I'm going to be like CJ, having amazing video, like woohoo. So we are welcoming Sharon in my first re-edition reboot of ReFrench Your Brain. Welcome, Sharon.
Hello, Ali, and everybody viewing live and on the replay. So happy to be here, Ali, to support you and refresh your brain. So exciting, and just grateful to be here and grateful to know you, Ali.
Thank you. And how are you feeling this week?
I am feeling really good this week, Ali. Thank you for asking. I am feeling things are happening. The momentum is going in the direction that I am happy that it is going in terms of seeing all my work start to pay off, with just the impact that I'm having and the ability to spread my message and help others. So it's been great, and I hope you're having a great week. How are you doing?
I'm having a great week. Yesterday I was having a day off, let's say, but today I'm feeling really on fire, ready to tackle this week. And so I'm blessed to count you in my adventures and also to be there for rebooting the ReFrench Your Brain. And just to let you know, I'm going to make it daily, but 15, 20 minutes maximum. And then each Tuesday, it will be 45, 60 minutes maximum with a special guest. So this first edition, it's you, dear Sharon. I'm happy
Well,
to
thank
embark you.
you. Thank
Yes.
you for having me as your first guest. I feel so honored, and I'm so glad to be here to support you with the reboot of Refrench Your Brain. I think you're amazing. I think you're awesome, and I think this is awesome. So here we
Indeed.
go.
Thank you. And we have already one or two persons in the audience. Welcome also the replay team. Feel free to comment at any time. I also dropped the link to be there on stage with us because there is an expression in French that says plus on est de fou, plus on rit. That means more we are the crazy ones, more we are laughing.
I love that.
Yeah, because fou is crazy. Je suis fou. I'm crazy. But fou could also mean other things. It's also used as a piece in the chess. In the chess, there are multiple pieces, and there is one that is fou, and this is the one that is going to the diagonal. You know, there is the tower, and there
Mhm.
is the horse, and then there is the crazy. I don't know how it's named in English, but it's fou in French. And then there is also the expression "Je suis fou de vous," and that means that we are. I am in love. Je suis fou. And one of the singer has a song like that. Michel Polnareff. Je suis fou de vous. So that's amazing.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
So the word of today for this special refrench your brain is, bear with me because I'm going to watch it, to show it. It's manoeuvre.
Manoeuvre, right?
Voilà, with the re, manoeuvre.
Manoeuvre.
Ouais, and after the V, you pronounce the R of vre.
Vert, like that.
Voilà,
Vert.
voilà, manœuvre.
Manoeuvre. I'm not good with rolling my tongue, but I'll work on it.
It's
I'll
okay.
work on it.
And so
Manoeuvre.
I will show it on my on the Wiktionary, as I always love to use the Wiktionary for that. And I chose this word
Okay.
because I was hearing that, and also because there are two spellings, by the way. So I will show right now, sharing. Oh, I know the shortcuts, so amazing. I'm having really amazing technology shortcuts for me. So normally you will see my screen.
We can
So
see
do
it.
you see? Yes, amazing. But we don't see ourselves, but it's okay. I will try to check that. If I do that,
There we go.
no, no. This one is better because we are seeing our faces. I'm
Yep.
exploring the technology, by the way. So manoeuvre, it's and I show it in French because it's the when you are learning a language, you go to the language page of the dictionary. If you are learning a word in Italian, then you type it.wiktionary.org. Spanish es, Dutch NL. It's just like so that you have the most information possible, because they are in English, but at the same time it's really less in the en dot. So here it's in French, but it's you see there is the O and the E together. There is two
Hmm.
ways of spelling it: the O and the E separated, like you see in the title, and here the O and the E together as a single letter. So that's the specificity of French.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the specificity of French, that you can have two spellings, because I know that for English speakers and people, they have the QWERTY keyboard, and they don't have the O and the E in the keyboard. And even in French, I have the AZERTY keyboard. I don't have the O and the E together. So you can type it separately, but just know that if there is the spelling checker that suggests you the O and the E together, it's okay. You can ignore it, or you can accept to correct it to the O and the E together. It's up to you. So the etymology, it's oh, it's incomplete. That's crazy, because usually I always get the etymology in the word that I show. But maybe when I check this, that's it. You go there, you see the O and the E together, and here you have even more information, because it's the way that is the most word. So here, etymology manus, which is the hand, and opera, which is activity. And that's interesting because œuvre comes from opera, like the Italian opera. La, 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 la. So that's amazing. And so manoeuvre, it's a worker on the orders of an office worker, qualified. So manoeuvre, it could be a noun, and it could be a person, un manoeuvre. And that's very interesting, because the noun number one is masculine or feminine. Then in the art, the one that is executing um, an artwork, um, but really vulgarly and by routine. So that's not really the artist. It's like something that is quite industrial, and that's very interesting. And then the third one, in art and literature, the one that execute an artwork that is requiring only time and patience. So it's something that is crafted by the hand. That's why the manoeuvre, manus, from the hands, like manier. manipulate in English also. And so that's apparented to main d'œuvre, and that's very interesting. In English, it's really explicit. Unskilled worker, a worker that is not skilled, and that's very true. But at the same time, it requires quite a talent. So I think it's a disservice to say that it's an unskilled worker. And so in Spanish, manoeuvre or operando, and in Italian, manovare. And that's really interesting also. Aside that, I can also show the noun number 2, which is the action by which the hand is making a device move, like manipulate a machine, manipulate a device. And that's also manoeuvrer. That's also the verb. There is also a verb, manoeuvrer, manipulate with the hands. Could be also in military, an operation, a movement for execution. In manœuvre militaire, it's a military maneuver. And then these movements, a set of movements to move or to move ourselves of our object. And then the one that I like so much is the way that we use to go to his means, his or her means. Like, by instance, une manœuvre, odieuse manœuvre. That means that is something that is not good, something that is really not good to do, because sometimes it's like someone that is trying to trick, to manipulate. I love also the word manipulate, because manipulate could be also to do with your hands, but also to try to convince someone. It's like the best case is Cambridge Analytica, the story that Facebook tried to manipulate people's opinion. So manoeuvre could be also that. So that's interesting. And so the synonym could be, this one is not so used, but the mean that we use to go to is or means, intrigue, machination. That's also interesting because it's from machine, machination. And then fausse manœuvre, that's when you are doing something but incorrectly. Like, oops, I made a mistake. In fausse manœuvre. Aside that, I manœuvrer, that's a verb. And so in English, it's, I don't see so much in English, aside manoeuvre, that's also in English, but more in UK, or maneuver in US. So maneuver comes from manoeuvre. That's interesting.
Interesting.
So, yeah. And by the way, by instance, there is a difference between the UK, which is manoeuvre, I think. I don't know if it's pronounced well in UK, but in US it's maneuver. So that's interesting. That comes from French. And then it's a form of a verb, because je manœuvre, tu manœuvres, it's from the verb manœuvrer. And that in that case is I manipulate, I touch something, some device to make it working. And so in the pronunciation that I will show,
Une manœuvre.
Manœuvre.
And then the Canadian I love so much, because they have a way to express that is different from France.
Manœuvre.
That kind is the way, because sometimes they say manoeuvre. They are pronouncing the second syllable more longer, but this time it's okay.
Manœuvre.
So and also in English, let's say what it's pronounced.
Maneuver.
maneuver. So that's really interesting that the maneuver in US and the manoeuvre, but manoeuvre in UK is
Maneuver.
it's from US, by the way, the pronunciation. So that's it for the word of today. And I'm going to stop my share because I would like to acknowledge the amazing comments that I have. And I have already seen the comments of Cherry that I would like to. Okay. So Sharon,
Yes.
um, um, that's very interesting. Either you respond with your voice, or either you go to LinkedIn to respond in the comments, because I think I cannot really respond. Si je fais la 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 la, they
Yeah, that's
say
fine.
can't post messages to some channels. So the only way that you can do to comment is to reply in the channel. So, by instance, I can show that's amazing because I see also the comments on Facebook. So here in LinkedIn, so aloha, mabuhay. So thank
Yep.
you for your support, dear Cherry. And
Yep.
then I think it's from Facebook. Let's see. Yeah.
Yes,
Thank
Jesse.
you. Thank you, Jesse from Facebook. Amazing job. Yeah. And thank you so much for that. And I have other comments. Sadly, I don't see them on StreamYard, but I see them on my LinkedIn. So, Selassie, thank you so much. Nice seeing you guys, he says. Hi, Holly and Sharon. And then Deirdre, wonderful Ollie, she says. I cannot see them on StreamYard, but I see them on LinkedIn. So thank you, Deirdre, for your comments. So manoeuvre and Manoeuvre, as I said in the caption here. I don't see anymore I see. Okay, I see it. So that's me exploring manoeuvre, and of course you can place the O and the E together, but I was not able to do it on copy paste. But it's up to you. You can they accept the two spellings, the O and the E separated or the O and the E together. So feel free to join the stage whenever you want. I placed the link on my LinkedIn. And so, Sharon, what do you think about this word by instance?
Well, I think I love the way that words sound in other languages. I love accents. So what I love about Minerve is that I found it really interesting, first of all, that maneuver in the English language, which is my primary language and my first language, um, is a derivative of the French language. I have always been very interested in the etymology of words since I'm a little girl. And so I just love learning the sounds, how to speak in different languages, the sounds of the accents. I love knowing what words mean. And as I said, the etymology. And if I may add for 1 second, Ollie, I absolutely love your enthusiasm and your love for French and other languages as well. I know that your true love, in a sense, is French, but I also know, having gotten to know you, that you truly love language and words, and I love the way that you play with words and you understand words, and I know that's one of the passions that we have in common. But I do love that Minerve has so many different meanings, and the meanings make sense. I love when a word, makes you can kind of make the connection to the way the word is pronounced to what the meaning is. That, for some reason, that resonates with me a lot in all languages. So that's my first impression of the word Minerve.
Thank you so much. And by the way, I'm passionate about any language. I can say an anecdote. is that I think it was yesterday I was connecting with Hope. I don't know her family name, but I was connecting with her on LinkedIn, and I had a coffee chat with her. Very, very long one and very interesting coffee chat. She is from Arizona, and she is providing materials for teachers in schools. So there is a lot of connections also that I sent her the Saturday session with all of us, like Christine, you and Jackie and Tabata and I.
Mhm.
And I sent her also the contact of Rachel Panning because about the new language coach. That's really the challenge for schools is to build a system where all the children are empowered to learn language. And
Yes.
one of the things that I would like to advocate is that, of course, in US, especially for people that arrive, they have to learn English, of course, but we need also to value any other language. I recall it was 2 or 3 years ago. I was connecting with someone, and I was telling to him he was looking like an African. I say that because he was a person of color, and he was from Congo. And I was telling him, "How many languages do you speak?" And he said to me, "Okay, French, a little bit of Dutch, and English." And I was curious. I was saying, "That's all? You don't speak any other language, like Swahili or Hausa?" I know. I was quoting some African language, by instance. And he said to me, "Oh yeah, yeah, I speak Swahili." So I feel like some people are not recognizing the value of their mother tongue or the language that they learn just because they are in a country that only values French, Dutch, and probably English. And
Mhm.
that's why really I would like to make the advocacy that anyone that is speaking really hardly English, but are speaking one, two, three, four, five other languages
Mhm.
are more powerful. And I will probably disappoint some people, but are more powerful than all the people that only speak English. And that's my point of view. I know it's not disrespect for the people that only speak English, but it's because they are in a country that they say, okay, you like they imagine they are going to Germany where you speak German, and then they say, oh, you are not speaking good German, you worth nothing. No, because they are speaking two, three, four other languages, they are even more, in my eyes, in my heart, more worthy than the people that are only speaking German. So that's my advocacy. That's my something that I it's my rant. Something that I would like to engage. Of course, I value French. This is my mother tongue, and of course, I'm really passionate to teach French. But at the same time, I will, even if someone is speaking really low French, like it was like this afternoon, I was meeting someone from originally from Ukraine that was speaking English and really so low French that she was speaking in English. She was understanding French, but then you go to a country, they only value you because you are speaking the language or the languages of the country, and that's so sad because Ukrainian is a beautiful language, and I love saying the most words possible in every language. So, like in Ukrainian, you can say thank you in saying "Dziękuję," and in German, it's like "Dankeschön." So, the more language that you know, the more your brain is active and stretching. So, what do you think about that?
I actually agree with you, Ali. Um, I think that it. I have always wanted to be bilingual. When I was in high school, I took Spanish and I did very well in Spanish. I tried to maintain it and use it after graduating. And I didn't get to use it as much, so I lost some of it, and now at this point, a lot of it. So I'm I'm retraining myself in different, in Spanish and also in other languages, because I think there is a benefit to being bilingual. And I just want to also say, for anybody that might have misunderstood what I said, or maybe I accidentally misrepresented it, I thought I had said, I know that French is your mother tongue and I know you love French, but I know that you love languages and I know that you are interested in all languages and I know that you teach other languages besides French. And so I wanted to make that point. And I think that's one of the, so to be bilingual, I think, is an asset. I don't think it takes away from anything. I think it adds to. Um, you know, our brains need to be utilized in different ways in order to maintain our brain's a muscle, right? In a sense. So if you don't use it, you do lose it. And there is research that shows that studying foreign languages is a way to keep your brain active and engaged and functioning well into adulthood. And there's some research that shows that studying foreign languages and just utilizing your brain in many ways, like through reading and studying, does help with maybe the prevention or having it take longer for you to acquire dementia or the loss of your brain, the utilization of your brain. So I'm a very big proponent of language, of reading, of studying languages. And I also believe that if you want to get to know more about a country, I believe there's two ways to do it, right? A country and a culture. One is through the food, because the food of a country tells you a lot about the culture and the country, but so does the language if you really study it. If you really study it just for more than just the words that and how the words are translated in that language, if you really get to know the language and the sounds and all of it, you really start to learn about the country and about the people that inhabit that country. And even some of the history of that country, because language and dialects in languages, they evolve over time. English that we know today in America or England isn't the same as the English in England or in America as it was when the colonies were first settled on. So the dialects change. And so I really I love the study of words and language. So I think it's a plus. I think it's an asset.
Exactly. So feel free in the comments to let us know what you would like to discuss about. And indeed, in fact, the languages are evolving and are really intricating together. There are words in French that comes from English, words in English that comes from French, and all the languages are contributing to each other. And
Absolutely.
so that, and also when you mention food and the story about the words, I really resonate with that. Because, for instance, there is a tiramisu, the dessert, Italian dessert, which is tira, which is to trek, to trek on. I think it's the I don't know by heart, but there is a tagliatelle, and taglia. I think the root is to cut, and then there is also the sfoglia. It's a dessert from the south, Napoli, I think, or I don't know, and it's like it could be similar to in French millefeuille, and millefeuille, folia. Feuille comes from the Latin folia, like folio, for instance, and millefeuille means 1,000 of sheets. And it makes sense because you see all the layers. There are not 1,000, but it's like to say there are so many that you cannot count them. And there is another thing like, but it's not to eat, except for the Asian culture. Like there is a milpat, which is a kind of a long caterpillar that doesn't have 1,000 legs, but there are probably 40, 80 legs, I think, or more, I don't know. But they call it milpat because they don't count more than 4 or 6 by instance. So the words, the etymology of words are amazing. So Cherry, thank you so much. I'm going to share your comment. So yeah, when you break bread with someone other than your tribe, you create community. Yeah, ça c'est rompre le pain, to break bread. Rompere, to break, to cut. That's really, by instance, in French, the expression il a rompu avec Karine, by instance, that means that he separated from Karine, like divorce or separation, rompre. So to rompere or break. And in French, break is used to say, okay, I need time to pause. J'ai besoin d'un break. I think it's the same in English. There are many words that we use in French that is in English. Even the verbs that I don't like so much, but il a managé son entreprise, like to manage, and like to manage, GER, and in English it's manager, but in French it becomes the verb manager. And so that's very interesting about the different ways of the languages. And also, the last but not least, there is also the old French versus the new French. For instance, in English, there is the word castle, CASTLE, which is like the fortification, castle.
Mm-hmm.
And in French is chateau. And mostly it's the edifice, but it could mean also the brands that produce the wine, because most of the time the viticulture was aside a castle. That's why they called it chateau, like Chateau Lafitte, chateau. So it's not only the edifice in itself; it's also the brand of the wine, the wine that is selling, and it's the way chateau. I will type it on the caption because you will see more when I write it, because the way it's made, there is the circumflex accent on top of the E, of the A. So like this, chateau. And so that's the actual word. But the ancient French, it was castel, CASTEL. And there is some regions or cities in France that is like, for instance, Castel Sarrazin. So it's from the German Castile, I think, because there is also Dutch Castile. So it's really interesting that English is the bridge, the togetherness between Latin and German, because there are words from Latin that are in English and words from German that are in English also. For instance, the word trauma comes from the German Traum, TRAUM, which means dream. It means dream in German, I think, as far as I know, because maybe it's not there, but in my memory, it's dream. So, so do you have any other question or any reflection?
Well, hearing you speak of all this and with all the conversations we've had about language and our love of words, you brought me back to the days of my college experience where I took a class in linguistics, and we talked about many things in that class, but the big thing that we studied in that class was the etymology and the origin of words. And what I learned then that you struck the memory for me is that many languages, as you say, they interconnect in that words are derived from the different languages together. And what I remember is that many of the languages have their origin and their etymology in Latin and Greek, but then derived from there. And I do know that there is, there's Old English, like, and there's the more modern English. Like when I refer to Old English, I'm referring to more of the Shakespearean way that words were pronounced and portrayed in the Shakespearean times. So just hearing you talk about, my reflections are that language is intricate in any country, in any language. There's intricacies in every language, and when we really stop to explore and get to know the intricacies, we realize just how beautiful language is. So yeah, that's my reflection.
Exactly. And welcome, Temitope. Thank you so much for supporting us. And feel free to comment if you have any question to me or to Sharon about languages, because it's not only about French, it could be also about English. It could be also about Italian because I speak Italian, also Dutch. For instance, I can say the three first numbers in the different language. So, of course, in English, 1, 2, 3. In Spanish, un, dos, tres. In Italian, uno, due, tre. In Dutch, een, twee, drie. In German, eins, zwei, drei. And I know that because there is a song like eins, zwei, drei, Polizei, fünf, vier, something like that. So it's really interesting that we are learning also languages through movies. I recall my first Spanish words were from the movie Terminator, like hasta la vista, baby. So
Yep. So
yeah,
true.
so
Yep.
yeah, so it's incredible. So thank you, Lisa, from Trinidad and Tobago. And about the accent, I love also the accent, not only on words, but also on languages. And in French,
Absolutely.
in English, there are, just in UK, there are 17 different accents. That's already impressive, only in UK. And there are also different accents in French, like France, Belgique, which is Belgium, Swiss, which is Switzerland, and also Canada, Quebec, which is Canada and Quebec, Montreal in English, Montreal. So I can try to speak Switzerland. It's a bit funny, but they are not speaking all like that. But si je commence à parler en Suisse, ça va être un peu bizarre. Comme je parle comme ça en français, c'est classique. Et alors là, je peux parler en français avec un accent belge, mais je fais pas ça tous les jours. I don't do that each day, to speak Belgian like that. Because it's the accent bruxellois or Belge, and they are not speaking like that all the day, and also the accent Canadian accent, l'accent canadien, c'est vraiment très charmant. J'adore les Canadiens, ils ont vraiment un accent savoureux. There are different accents in French, in different languages, and I will say also there are multiple Englishes, multiple Frenches, multiple Spanishes, because there is a Spanish of Spain and of Argentina or El Salvador, as there are probably also the multiple Portugueses, because there is a Portugal, the Brazil, the Cabo Verde in Africa. So that's incredible to imagine the diversity of languages, of terminology, dialects. So that's something that really makes my heart fly. So thank you, Lisa, for joining. By the way, I will show just for this the sake of showing my old design because it's not anymore the ChLogOlate, but this, my friend, is not from Belgium. It's from Trinidad and Tobago, and it was offered from my friend Janneke Myers from Trinidad and Tobago. That she was visiting me in early June. So it's amazing, you know. And so I will bring sometimes my ChLogOlate, my chocolate, but I would say before meeting her, I would have said that the best chocolate is from Belgium, but now I can't say that the best chocolate is from Trinidad and Tobago because, of course, Belgium is producing chocolate, but is not growing chocolate because chocolate is growing in other countries, like in Africa or in Trinidad and Tobago, because there are more. Probably if the global warming is there, probably in 30 years we can grow chocolate in Belgium. I don't know, but we shall see. But that's another story. So thank you, Lisa, for supporting us. And by the way, your accent is delicious. So I can't wait to welcome you one day on stage. So yeah, all the different accent in England. Yeah, exactly. So languages are so fun indeed. Yeah. So thank you so much, Lisa. So any other thing, Sharon, before we are closing in few minutes because I will probably make this session 45 minutes or for 48, but feel free to wrap up.
Yeah, I just wanted to encourage everybody that's here or everybody that's watching the replay. Um, if you if you've ever wanted to learn a language or study more about the etymology of words in different languages or anything like that, then Ali is your man. Um, he is very committed to any projects he takes on. He is very passionate about the things that and the subjects and the issues that are important to him. And he truly is your man if you want to learn French and any of the other languages that he is fluent in. And the one thing I can say also about Ali is that if he doesn't know a language and you want to learn that language, he will help you by learning it alongside you in a sense. So, um, I've gotten to know a lot more French and understand French and even some of the differences in my own language and the dialects and the history behind the English language just through my friendship and my connection with Ali. So I encourage you to, you know, even if you're not sure if you want to learn a language, I encourage you to come outside your comfort zone because when we learn foreign languages, it actually forms new pathways, new neurological pathways in our brain. So there are physical and psychological and social benefits to being bilingual. So why not have some fun? Because languages are fun, and give yourself the gift of being able to communicate, and also, expand the health of your brain and the lifespan of your brain. So
Yeah,
that's what
and
I want.
thank you. And that's also the reason I'm sharing that because I'm not alone. I'm a neuro language coach. And as you see, there is the neuro language coach network that is referring all the coaches around the world. So, for instance, I can try to see in the map to search for neuro language coach. So, type a country in random. Try to type a country.
uh yeah, just pick one.
Like, for instance, Canada. So here it will show all the new language coaches that are in Canada, and there are only five. I was thinking there were more because we are near 2,000 new language coaches. So all the coaches from Canada, here, for instance, all the coaches from US, and of course you can check the coaches in your region. You can also check the coaches online or on your time zone. There are also coaches in South America. So now in US there are 22 coaches. In I know that's in United Kingdom, I think. I don't know. In US, if I select US, if it works well. No, okay. So there are multiple countries, for instance, Bolivia. I wonder if there are. Yeah, there are. No, Bolivia 22. It doesn't make sense. But for instance, France. In France, there are 50 coaches in France. So if your time zone is in Europe, there are 50 neuro language coaches in France. So feel free to go to neurolanguagecoachnetwork.com. I will post it on the comments also. And it's from Effective Language Coaching. And the way that I like so much Neuro Language Coach, it's because it's using the neuroscience, the latest research on neuroscience, and the coaching skills. So it's not like being a teacher in front of a classroom. No, it's most like in or one-on-one or small groups, and using all the neuroscience research and the coaching skills, permission, autonomy, and I would say also the joy. The joy, embarking the heart is really important, and also the body. The body learns. You know, when you are going into your supermarket and you go, you pay by card, you insert a PIN code, and inserting a PIN code, most like it's contactless, but in the old times it was a PIN code, and your body knows that by heart. As long as I don't focus, if I focus, was my code, or I try to, I'm distracted, then how does it moves to bring my code? Sometimes it happens to me. So the body is learning also. So by the movement, like if you say un, deux, trois, so you associate the sound with the gesture, like yes, so oui, non, oui, non. So you associate also with your body. It's really important to embark with your body. So, for instance, I'm going to share all the comments because I'm a bit late. But yes, for Lisa, be happy you were able to experience Trinitarios chocolate. Most of the foreign countries use chocolate from Trinidad. Yes, yes, indeed, indeed, indeed. Delicious, indeed. Yeah, especially that I have 100% chocolate. I will say even I have 200% chocolate from Trinidad because it's so pure. And so another comment, Cherry, that appreciate your wise word about mother tongue language and dementia. My mother has dementia and I keep speaking to her Tagalog. That's also another approach, because if you speak the mother tongue of an elder person, they will go back in time and they will
Yeah.
find memory, like the smell, place the smell of their childhood, and they will really sparkle joy. That's also, and by the way, I'm going to make there is an event this Saturday, and we will talk about Parkinson, dementia, and all the illnesses of our elders. It will be with George Ackerman, who is sharing his mission, like together with Sharon. And I will talk also about language, by the way, but really less. But it's really important about the memory and people that have dementia to have joy again. And so Lisa also commenting, yeah, so smart. And then thank you again. Yeah, trilingual. Yeah, thank you so much. Arigato gozaimasu. That's thank you in Japanese, by instance. And then there is, yeah, Philippines. Yeah, amazing. I love Filipino. There's CJ is Filipina, and Olelo Hawaii. Thank you so much for bringing you Hawaii vibes. Mahalo, aloha, Hohana. That's family in Hawaiian. I know that because I was watching also Lilo and Stitch in the 90s, like Ohana, and so aloha and mahalo. I love Hawaii by the way. And so I'm going now to wrap up this session. Of course, you already wrapped up, but feel free to wrap up another time, again if you want.
I just wanted to say thank you, Ali, for having me. It's always a pleasure to share your love of language with you, and I always appreciate when you invite me to do so. Um, and I appreciate your support as well. And just keep shining your bright light and your love for all things that you're passionate about, because your messages about language and mental health and disability and all the messages that you have to share with this world are important, and you are important. So just thank you for having me. And I look forward to being part of your journey and watching your journey um, for a long time to come.
Hmm. Thank you. And I will finish by singing the first, not the whole song, but the first passage of a song in French, that is La Quête from Jacques Brel, and that pinpoints also the circumflex accent, because quête, Quete, but the e with accent, it's from quest, because most of the time the circumflex accent was an ancient S, like castle from chateau or quête from quest. And so la quête is the quest, the quest, and it begins like that in French. Rêver d'un impossible rêve, porter le chagrin des départs, brûler d'une possible fièvre, partir où personne ne part. So in English is rêver d'un impossible rêve, to dream an impossible dream, brûler d'une possible fièvre, that's to burn an impossible fever, partir où personne ne part, to go where nobody goes. And so I love this song. It's from Jacques Brel, and it's like, et puis rêver toujours, sans question ni repos, se damner pour l'or d'un mon amour, for the goals of the word of the love, of a word love, a love into a word. So I'm really passionate when it comes to languages in French. So thank you so much for being there for my first edition. You are also welcome, everyone, to become a guest. Just post me a DM, contact me, or I will post also the link for you to join. And so with that, I'm going to fade away with the music. And thank you again for your support. This is the new edition, the new reboot, ReFrench Your Brain, and I will perfect it session after session, and I will bring the call to action later. So enjoy, keep shining, everyone. Thank you so much, and I'm ending there.